And at 10, Clown Springtrap. Clown Springtrap is Springtrap's third skin and the third skin to be introduced in the Dark Circus event. Clown Springtrap has a pale white suit with blue and purple makeup above his eyes. He has messy purple hair coming out of the top of his head, of course, and large red lipstick as well, a la Joker or Pennywise? I guess more so Joker. Clown Springtrap's body is mostly covered by a large suit with ripped up black pants and a black shirt, along with a red and purple vest. He features large red clown shoes along with a red bow tie and flower on his chest. His right eyelid has also been stitched up. Finally, he carries around a very large red mallet in his left hand, and considering how clowns are one of the most common fears in the world, with more people in the United States being scared of clowns than actual global warming, I think putting Clown Springtrap on this list when he is intentionally just a clown is definitely understandable, okay? Even if it's on your phone, this dude is menacing, and he has a hammer. And at 9, Easter Bonnie. Easter Bonnie, aside from being the best pun the series has ever released, is probably the kind of bunny your parents will make you sit with at the mall, but you'd be crying the whole time. Like Matt from In the Flesh, from what should have been the final Fazbear Frights book Bunny Call, which is totally meant to be a fanfic about Matt Pet. Like, is this his way of asking Matt if he wants to work on another FNAF VR game? I don't know. Are these Scott's deepest fantasies? Well, no matter what. This bunny is creepy. This version of Bonnie hails from like the Easter update and was the only skin added aside from like Chocolate Bonnie, but it's basically just a white Bonnie, but with glowing blue eyes, a glowing red mouth, a yellow bow tie, and then an egg pattern on his stomach. I can't really explain why I find this so unsettling. Maybe because I constantly get chocolate bunnies around Easter and I don't want to think about an animatronic trying to kill me because, you know, I'm eating a chocolate bunny, but what do I know, right? Apparently not myself. This one is just, it's weird, okay? It looks like it can crack me. I can't crack it, but it can crack me. And at 8, Broiler Baby. Broiler Baby was the first skin for Circus Baby in Special Delivery and is the second skin for the Sizzling Summer event. Broiler Baby for the most part looks exactly like Circus Baby, except for the fact that she is covered in soot and has red eyes instead of green. She also features a large broiler on her stomach, and instead of a microphone, she carries a coal shovel. The inside of her mask also seems to be lit up by fire, because of course it is, she comes from the depths of hell, and the red eyes are not only meant to indicate fire, but also I'm sure to let us know that this version of Baby is not possessed by Elizabeth Apton, since Baby's eyes were originally blue but then changed to green when she got possessed. And not only does the inside of her head look like she was on fire, but her endoskeleton also appears to be red hot. The coal shovel kinda looks like a feather if you squint at it, but all this begs the question, why? Where did this come from, and how did this happen? Especially in the actual FNAF world, like what's the lore reason for this and any of these? And at 7, Melted Chocolate Bunny. Melted Chocolate Bunny is a melted variant of Chocolate Bunny, obviously, released on April 1st, 2021. He is the 4th skin for Bonnie and the first skin of 2021 to be released alone. Melted Chocolate Bonnie looks near identical to Chocolate Bonnie, except he's obviously melting. He has way more holes than the original Chocolate Bonnie, some of which show more of his endoskeleton, and is now a slightly darker shade of brown. Finally, on his upper left arm, lower right arm, and left hand, various small sprinkles can be seen, kinda like those Little Debbie rainbow sprinkle brownies. It also took me forever to remember what the hell these were called. Even if it reminds me of a cherished childhood treat, this thing is still horrifying. It being melted gives it a more ruined appearance, like it just shouldn't exist, which just adds to the creep factor. It looks like a zombie, like a chocolate zombie, which isn't healthy because it wants you to eat it, but if you take a bite, then you also become a chocolate zombie too. And at 6, Clockwork Ballora. Man, okay, with Minecraft getting those copper blocks in the previous update, steampunk seems to be all over the place now. Clockwork Ballora is Ballora's second skin in FNAF AR and the first skin of the Scream Punk event. Clockwork Ballora looks pretty much exactly like normal Ballora, but made entirely out of golden gears and plates, cause steampunk. Her crown and her shoulder pads have become very large gears, and her lower legs, section of her arm, and her pelvis are all rust colored. And you know what? I'm sure that makes all of you simps feel really weird about yourself. That's right, you're gonna get tetanus where the sun don't shine. Her tutu is made up of a large rotating gear, and it also looks like it can play records, but I don't even want to get into that. Her top is made up of a rust colored bottom piece and a black colored top piece with a rose pattern on it. And finally, the gold plates that make up her face, arms, and legs are welded into a Victorian style set of patterns with some red colored indents. But you know what, this time around she comes with similarly styled mini Renas. The Clockwork mini Renas look like Clockwork Ballora, except their faces have blood stains on them and glowing green eyes, which is all the more menacing, okay? Blood-stained faces. Love it. Halfway through into number 5, Ringmaster Foxy. Imagine Foxy, but his hook is a whip. Actually, I'm pretty sure that's already out there, you f***ing sickos. Anyways, this guy looks like he should be in some Goosebumps book about the circus, since he was also added in the Dark Carnival event that added Clown Springtrap and Magician Mangle. I also just realized that the Fast Fair Frights books are the Goosebumps of this generation, and it kinda scares me. Anyway, Ringmaster Foxy looks how you would expect a Ringmaster Fox to look, especially in a horror game, with a tattered red jacket, whip, and top hat that seems to be steampunk inspired with metal plates on the front. Oh, and 2 toes, since people love counting Foxy toes for some reason. Like, also, that's definitely out there. Y'all are into some weird shit. Let me tell you that right now. I can swear because I'm the one editing this, but like, you need to like relax. Since people love counting Foxy toes, this one has 2 of them. How fun is that? His eye glows yellow and his chest has some glowing texture on it that I don't really want to see because I'm already pretty distressed. And I didn't even get to the skulls on his belt. Yeah, I'm done for now. Yikes. And at 4, Flamethrower Bear Endo. Flamethrower Bear Endo was a new summer-themed animatronic added into the July 23rd, 2020 update for FNAF AR, known as the Sizzling Summer Event. Yes, that's right, we got the other Sizzling Summer. We got all the Sizzling Summer Event animatronics on this list. Flamethrower Bear Endo is an orange skeleton with a large red welding mask and 2 large gas canisters on his back. The canisters are hooked up to a flamethrower attached to his arm. And while not the most intimidating character looks-wise, the fact that this character straight up has a flamethrower probably makes him the most dangerous one out of the bunch. Some of these sure have their advantages, but I mean, like, some are only good in water. Okay, this dude will burn your house down for fun and won't regret a thing, mostly because robots don't have emotions. But still, that's something to be scared of. This guy was built to burn down, and I don't think that he'll be waiting for your approval before going berserk. But I don't know, maybe he's a sweet guy. Maybe he is. You know what, maybe you can fix him. And at 3, Katrina Toy Chica. My first reaction to this is, what the f***? Katrina Toy Chica was added during the Halloween event and is the only one to have been added this way in 2020. As in, like, in the Halloween event. This skin is based off the character La Cartina de los Tolortis. I'm sorry, I totally butchered that. Who is a popular character in Mexican culture who is the representation of high society. She is one of the most popular figures at the Feast of the Day of the Dead in Mexico, according to what I found online. As for the actual character, the skin of the animatronic is a greenish gray color with a dark gray, nearly black beak and glowing red eyes and mouth, almost as if hell is burning from within. She has styled long black hair with various flowers throughout and even around her eyes. She wears a tattered purple cloth that reaches down to her thighs, and the bib says "We're here" in Spanish. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Maybe Eddie VR can do it for me. The cupcake is also horrific, like the nightmare version, but just the skull. In typical Dia de los Muertos fashion, this thing is terrifying and actually genuinely scares me. That was literally my first reaction when I saw this thing. But ultimately, in at number 2, Piranha Plush Trap. Piranha Plush Trap is Plush Trap's second skin in FNAF AR and the 3rd skin in the Wicked Tides event. He released on June 7th, 2019, I think, and after being delayed by 3 days for unknown reasons, he actually finally showed up for work. We actually made a community post about this, and it was ages ago, but personally, this is one of the scariest FNAF AR skins that anyone has ever had. Piranha Plush Trap is hardly like the original Plush Trap, now being made of an organic flesh-like material, even giving him realistic gums. This is like Sonic's original CGI form all over again. His mouth is littered with long, thin, sharp teeth, and his eyes are extremely small and glow an ocean blue color, because you know what? That's what matters here. On the sides of his head are 2 glowing orange gills, and his feet glow that same orange. His hands have orange webbing in between them that stretches when his fingers move. His ears are covered in small barnacles, and his mouth, stomach, and right leg are all covered in string-like algae. Finally, his body is covered in spikes, and his torso is split open, revealing ribs. This thing is horrifying. I just hope we get to see him in another game that's not special delivery. I want to see Piranha Plush Trap in some other form. Dude reminds me of a zebra muscle. And finally, in at number 1, Great Escape Golden Freddy. Golden Freddy returns as an enemy in FNAF AR Special Delivery and actually as a playable character in Freddy in Space 2. But Great Escape Golden Freddy, or for short, I guess, Great Escape Freddy, I'm just gonna call him Great Escape, is the first skin that Golden Freddy has ever gotten in FNAF AR. He received this skin as a part of the special mixed reality DLC game mode part of Dark Circus Encore that released on December 13th, 13th, 2021. He's available exclusively through purchasing and beating that DLC content. Great Escape Golden Freddy is identical to Golden Freddy in coloration, still being yellow, but now is a much duller shade, with black and green splotches on his head, legs, and feet. His head is severely withered in multiple areas, with most of it deteriorated or just flat out missing, including half of his top hat. His eye sockets are also completely empty, with holes going through the endoskeleton head, and a chain is running around his mouth. Dude likes it kinky. He wears a brown straight jacket with multiple golden chains running across it, with multiple locks. Dude's like an escape artist, because, you know, Great Escape. Boxes and a giant metallic collar are also around his neck. These chains also run down his upper legs with some hooks dangling from them. It's genuinely one of, if not the scariest skin in the game. It's a tie between this and Piranha Plush Trap, but I put this one first because it's newer. But it's also a mobile game, so it takes a lot to actually make it scary, and these last two do that. And at 10, Aeronaut Toy Freddy. Aeronaut Toy Freddy is a skin for Toy Freddy with a steampunk pilot and engineer theme. He is Toy Freddy's third skin and the second skin added in the Screampunk event. He was released on July 1st. Aeronaut Toy Freddy is a much darker shade of brown than his original counterpart, with a lighter colored snout and mouth. His hat is now much larger and features various scrap metal and gears. He wears large gear and magnifying glass based goggles. He also wears a large leather trench coat, leather pants, a leather boot, and a clock based bow tie, which is weird. His chest cavity is broken up to show multiple golden gears, and he wears a golden pilot badge. He has a large bag strapped around his shoulder, and he has a steampunk arm cannon on his left forearm. His left hand and right foot are also encased with golden metal, which is pretty sick. Finally, he wields a large metal wrench. However, while interesting, it isn't the scariest skin. I just don't want him to get anywhere close to me with that wrench, because we all know how that's gonna end. And at 7, Flaming Springtrap. Flaming Springtrap was also added during the Sizzling Summer event and was understandably the final skin to be added in the update. Being Springtrap's second skin behind Toxic Springtrap, we weren't quite sure what to expect. But have you ever wondered what Springtrap looked like during the FNAF 6 fire? Or wondered what it was like in my old apartment or in this current apartment before they turned the AC on? This is what it feels like. This also answers the original question because he's definitely the kind of person to absorb up all the flames and then use them to his advantage. Flaming Springtrap is a coal-colored Springtrap with dark orange highlights, and he's glowing orange from his endoskeleton since it's burning hot. He has flames spouting out of every area possible, and he's ready for the 1,000-degree endoskeleton challenge. His hands and feet are also on fire for some reason. He also has no upper teeth. For another reason, okay? You know what? This thing is just horrifying. If these are real animatronics in the FNAF universe, and Fazbear Entertainment is actually sending these to people's homes, why are you sending a flaming serial killer to your fans' houses? It makes no sense. It's befuddling to me how these things are supposed to be real, but everything flies, okay? And the skins are actually canon as we see in Furry's Rage, so yeah. God damn it. And at 6, Blackheart Bonnie. Blackheart Bonnie is a Valentine's Day themed skin for Bonnie released on February 4th, 2021. He is Bonnie's third skin and was added during the Heartstoppers event on the same day as Heartsick Baby. Blackheart Bonnie looks nearly identical to Bonnie. However, his entire body is now made up of black glass. His torso, upper left arm, right forearm, and both his legs are covered in scratches, cracks, and holes. His eyes are mostly black, but his irises glow a bright red. Finally, in his torso, there is a pixelated heart that flickers and glows. This is the scarier of the two Valentine's Day skins, but oh my god, is this thing wicked sick. I love the color red, and that being combined with black just makes for a badass color palette. And while it does look incredibly sick, I'm still running away. Cause this dude got his heart broken and he's about to act out. This guy is gonna key your car as you're driving by on the highway. He's gonna open the back door of the van, lean out and key your car as you try to drive away. It's not okay. He will jump on a tractor trailer in order to catch up with you. He is insane and you need to stay away from him. You thought It Follows was bad? Blackheart Bonnie is worse. Alright, we're doing a number 5, Radioactive Foxy. And you thought the Chernobyl movie was scary? Wait till you see Radioactive Foxy. Added as a part of the Wasteland themed skins in the Wasteland event, this version of Foxy looks almost identical to normal Foxy, except Radioactive Foxy is neon green and kinda transparent. You can see his endoskeleton fairly well, and it features a radioactive symbol on his stomach, along with a double hook, presumably because he had to have some form of mutation, and 2 heads is a little much. This dude is glowing green, and what makes this scary to me is the inclusion of the radioactive symbol on his stomach. Or maybe it's like on like the back of his back, or like the interior of his back, since it's translucent, but I don't know. It's not like any form of radiation would realistically put that there, so someone had to have put it there themselves. So they planned for this version of Foxy to be radioactive. Now I'm not sure about the canonicity of this game or the canonicity of the skins of the characters, but what I do know is someone planning on making a character radioactive with actual radiation is a bad thing. And Foxy is already kind of scary as it is. Like, his eye is glowing as if it was on, but he has no light behind it. He's just making the light himself. Like, what the actual hell is going on? In it for Jetpack Balloon Boy. Jetpack Balloon Boy is Balloon Boy's 3rd skin and the 3rd skin of the Scream Punk event. The skin was released on July 8th after being leaked by Lumix's community tab on YouTube over 12 hours early. But I mean, still better than Funko leaking the designs of the security breach animatronics, right? Jetpack Balloon Boy's body shape looks identical to that of Balloon Boy, but he now wears a brown leather coat with wool inside the hood, and a large pilot's hat decorated with various gears, bulbs, and other devices. He wears a pair of goggles with the right lens colored green and the left lens broken open to reveal a robotic yellow eye. His shoes and arms also appear to be made up of a bronze metal and covered in gears, and his sign now reads "Let's Fly," with letters being made out of scrap metal bolted onto the blank sign. His balloon is decorated to look like that of a hot air balloon with gears, jewels, and curtains covering it, although I haven't really seen many hot air balloons that look like that. And finally, as his name suggests, he wears a large jetpack on his back, which he will use to fly over your house and dive bomb it, because that's what steampunk stuff does, right? Blow things up? I mean, sounds like it would be fun. And at 3, Boulder Toy Bonnie. Imagine Swamp Balloon Boy on illicit substances that are typically controlled by your government. That's what Boulder Toy Bonnie is. Made completely of stone, this skin was released on November 19, 2020 as part of the Haunted Forest event. Imagine if Bonnie was a statue and you get Boulder Toy Bonnie. It's just horrifying, and the cracks and the vines in those cracks, but also it's growing out of them with the black voids for eyes with no light inside them. It's terrifying. And this man only has 3 toes. Where did the others go? I bet you that at least one person is really enjoying the idea of stone animatronic feet, and honestly I think that's the most terrifying thing of all. And 10, Frost Plush Trap. Frost Plush Trap is Plush Trap's first and currently only AR skin, and was added on Christmas Eve 2020 at the end of the Winter Wonderland event, or at least at the end of the animatronics being added. It was the last one. Frost Plush Trap has a similar body structure to that of normal Plush Trap, with the main difference being, you know, ice. The character is made completely of light blue ice with black sunken eye sockets with white dots for eyes, and spikes of the same blue ice coming off of it, and just every way. Like, it's freaky. But while menacing, this guy is tiny, so I'm not really that intimidated. I kind of just accept that he can kill me, but I could also just, like, kick him away. Like the age-old question of if you'd rather fight a horse-sized baby or 100 baby-sized horses. You take the horses that are the size of babies, so you can just kick them away. Just boom! There's a fur flying everywhere now. But yeah, that's right, I said it. I'd kick baby-sized horses. Come at me, PETA. And at 9, Magician Mangle. Magician Mangle is one of the circus-themed skins added by the Dark Circus event. The same event as Clown Springtrap from the last video. This was also Mangle's first skin in special delivery. What's worse than an animatronic who wants to murder you and is constantly pulled apart and put back together? One that can do all that and magic. And while resembling Mangle, there are a few key differences, like their white fur is now a dark green, the pink has now turned into a more of a light brown, and the addition of a top hat and bunny ears on the additional head, the scariest feature of them all. And with an eye that is a crystal ball, Mangle will see your death coming and make sure it happens. It's gonna bite your face off. It's just weird and it's creepy, man. There's playing cards stuck to it, they're holding a giant saw. It's just not okay, especially with the floating knives. That's a big no from me, dog. No. Fellow kids. And at 8, System Error Bonnie. System Error Bonnie is the final alternate skin introduced in the Arcade Mayhem event, the same event as VR Toy Freddy and High Score Toy Chica, and is the first alternate skin for Toy Bonnie. While sharing a similar model to Toy Bonnie, System Error will send shivers down the spine of anyone who had an Xbox and knows the red ring of death. The character has switched from mainly blue to completely red, with a black screen in the middle of their stomach that says System Error, much like me when I see these animatronics. He makes the area around him slightly pixelate with an 8-bit effect, exclusive to this character. And they have glowing yellow facial features that will surely scare any wandering player. Honestly though, this is pretty creepy, and it doesn't even have an attack mode variant because it doesn't need one. This dude is mad, and he will eat your sweet, supple flesh. And at 7, Frostbite Balloon Boy. Frostbite Balloon Boy is genuinely the first animatronic on this list to actually creep me out, like 100%. Like, if Jeff the Killer got lost in the forest at Christmas, this is what I think would come of that. Frostbite Balloon Boy was added in the Winter Wonderland event on December 17th, 2020. Frostbite Balloon Boy is honestly one of the most physically different skins on this list, since for his skin, Balloon Boy was slimmed down. He's made entirely out of snow, with icicles sticking out of him in various places and a large chunk of torso removed, showing dark blue ice on the inside of his body. Someone added some food coloring or something to the water because, like, that's the only way that this can happen, right? Anyway, his balloon and sign are also made out of snow and ice, with his sign saying avalanche instead of the typical balloons. And his face is just, it's damn creepy. Look at this thing. When I said Jeff the Killer getting lost at Christmas, I wasn't kidding. This dude looks menacing. It genuinely makes me uncomfortable the way his dark eyes are like an abyss for my fraction of a soul. And his smile is just so Joker-like. And the sharp teeth is really what makes it too much. Nightmare Balloon Boy has nothing on this. Straight up. No cap. What up, fellow kids? And at 6, Toxic Springtrap. Toxic Springtrap, while also the name of my high school, was the first skin added for Springtrap in FNAF AR's Wasteland event. This would not be the last skin for Springtrap, and you can see why, because this thing is horrifying and repulsive, with flesh melting and boils covering Springtrap's body after taking on a purple color instead of the classic yellowish green. This thing just looks flat out disgusting, and while it may not be the scariest appearance, it will be one of the scariest in backstory, since it comes from the same event as Radioactive Foxy, who had a radiation symbol on him, meaning that he was man-made. We talked about this in the last video. So, this version of Springtrap is also probably man-made. It's horrible, and just the melting flesh is really what gets me. But it's kind of funny that the purple guy finally is actually purple, like his son though. Am I right?
Halfway through at number 5, The Curse. Yes, there are 3 separate Springtrap skins on this list, leave me alone. The Curse is an Aztec-themed skin for Springtrap that was released on March 5th in the Ancient Equinox event and is the 4th skin for Springtrap overall in the game. The Curse is a teal color Springtrap dressed to look like an ancient Aztec warrior. He has a large feathered crown and a golden chest piece. His hands are colored orange with sharp black claws, and in one of them he holds a large golden shield. Dude's coming for my wig. Finally, he is decorated head to toe in large feathers, because of course he is. This guy looks like he's actually decaying, finally, which is certainly a better spin on things, since decaying bodies aren't usually purple, even though this series seems to try to push that idea, okay? Bruises are purple, decay is commonly at least depicted as green, much like how Springtrap's suit in its curse form is dark green. This also could be a subtle reference to the fact that Afton is a curse on the entire series, and on my life, and we can never get rid of him in any meaningful way. Or maybe just about how Glitchtrap and the Curse of Dreadbear DLC, he's a curse there. You know what? Who knows? I do. I know, and he is a curse on the entire series and needs to die permanently.
And at 4, Black Ice Frostbear. Black Ice Frostbear is the first skin for Freddy Frostbear in FNAF AR, and is the first skin for another version of the character. It's basically a skin, since Frostbear is just a retextured Freddy, but whatever. He was released on December 4th, 2020 as the start of the Winter Wonderland event, and Black Ice Freddy Frostbear is similar to normal Frostbear. I guess that's pretty obvious. It's Freddy made entirely out of ice. However, the ice is darker and has spikes coming out of his arms and legs. And as any driver will tell you, black ice is really dangerous. At least I think. I only have my G1. Or can be, especially if you're somewhere where it actually snows. But the spikes are really what get me here. This dude is terrifying. By far one of the scariest versions of Freddy I've seen. Not the most, because Nightmare Freddy is still horrific. Same with Nightmare and Nightmare Fredbear. But this guy is definitely like 4th place. Or like 6th, like between that range. 4th and 6th, like 4th, 5th, or 6th, that's where this guy is. And at 2, Scorching Chica. Scorching Chica is a Chica skin for this Sizzling Summer event that was released on August 6th, 2020. She is the third skin in the Sizzling Summer lineup and looks absolutely terrifying. Scorching Chica's design is nearly identical to Chica, except she's on fire and made out of scorching magma-like material. This is how my apartment feels on the regular. Her eyes are bright orange and turned red during encounters. It's horrifying. Like, if this is what Jacko Chica looked like, I would be crapping myself on the regular, especially in the helpy sections of FNAF VR and the Danger Keep Out. This skin is very similar to the Flaming Springtrap, since they're from the same event. I talked about it in the previous part, and this Scorched Cupcake is like just a burnt cupcake, and I don't know if that's scarier or just kind of funny. Maybe both. You decide. Finally, and number 1, Dark Water Bear Endo. Dark Water Bear Endo is Bear Endo's second skin and the first of the currently happening Wicked Tides event. The skin was released on May 20th, 2021, only like a week ago at this point. This version of Endo really resembles a walking anglerfish. They have multiple small tendrils coming out of their arms and torso, and their hands are colored black and their fingertips glowing blue. The torso is filled with a multicolored pattern that looks similar to coral. Their mouth has a more fish-like look with the thin, sharp teeth and multiple sharp curled tendrils sticking out of the lower side. It's messed up. They have 2 large fins on each side of their head and the iconic anglerfish antenna at the top of their head hanging down. Finally, both of their eyes are large and glow a bright white. It's absolutely terrifying, and I don't know how this is classified as Bear Endo anymore. This is actually the stuff of nightmares. This is what I imagine like sea monsters to be. Like the what are they? The Zoruas? No, that's a Pokemon. The Zoras from Legend of Zelda, if they were on meth, this would be what they looked like. Like, what? This reminds me of some form of monster from like a video game or something, and I can't pinpoint what source of media this comes from. But it looks so similar to it. It's like the missing link from Monsters vs. Aliens on roids. That's what I think this is. Am I wrong? If this looks more similar to something else that I didn't mention, please let me know in the comments, see if this sparks my memory, because it's been bugging me for literally a day. Like, I wrote this yesterday, I'm filming it, I filmed this 2 days ago for you, I'm filming it yesterday for you, and it's still bugging me. It's still bugging me. And at 9, High Score Chica. High Score Chica is a neon-themed skin for obviously Toy Chica, released in May of 2020 as a part of the Arcade Mayhem event. This was the first alternate skin for Toy Chica, and she's joined by her 8-bit cupcake. Toy Chica is a neon blue animatronic with an aura effect, but also looks like a neon sign, with only her edges being blue. Her eyes are orange and yellow, with the famous Let's Eat bib changed to say High Score, and the same orange as her eyes. In her attack mode, Game Over Toy Chica replaces the high score version, and her appearance changes, with the blue glow switching to red and purple, and her eyes changing to be red as well. Her bib changes to say Game Over, and her beak gets removed, because you had to, right? The animatronic almost appears like a hologram, with me feeling like I could almost push my hand through her and have no resistance. But I also like the idea that the bib is like one of those hats or masks that has the LED screen on it, so you can write stuff like whatever you want. Like, that would be kind of cool if I'm being honest. Like, other than that, this version of Toy Chica just puts me on edge. And at 8, VR Toy Freddy. Also added in May of 2020 as a part of the Arcade Mayhem event, we have VR Toy Freddy, a version of Toy Freddy similar to that of High Score Chica, with a purple holographic outline instead of blue and wearing a VR headset instead of having an 8-bit cupcake. However, in attack mode, VR Freddy loses the headset, and like me when I have to come out of VR, looks pissed off, with his purple and slightly blue colors switching to yellow outlines with a red circuit board across his body, which really looks more like magical runes if you ask me, but whatever. But where this character really shines is in the eyes. Just like me, everything seems brighter when Toy Freddy takes off the headset. His eyes are glowing green with circuit lines coming from them and reaching across his face. It's actually fairly freaky considering the original skin. The fact that this guy goes from calming colors to looking like a McDonald's reject is terrifying, but understandable because nobody takes me out of VR unless I'm ready. If you interrupt me, expect the same thing to happen with me, unless it's FNAF VR, because I'm happy for any excuse to leave that game. And at 7, Woodland Toy Freddy. From the same event as Swamp Balloon Boy, we have Woodland Toy Freddy. Released on November 12, 2020 as the start of the Woodland event, Woodland Freddy looks like he belongs in Shrek's swamp and I wish he had never left. Made entirely out of wood and covered in tree rot and moss, Woodland Toy Freddy is a sight that will cause sore eyes. There is a large gap in his chest and his limbs are covered in mushrooms. We all know how I feel about mushrooms, I hope. If not, subscribe, you'll get to know me. There isn't much room in my life for them. But seriously, this thing is creepy. I feel like there are a million spiders in his chest cavity that are just about to pour out and it makes me uncomfortable because I hate spiders too. And this thing needs to just stop. Like, why is this a thing? What did they do to get them turned into like swamp beasts and how do I undo it? Please, let me end this torture. Sky Daddy Scott. Gotta say it. I gotta say it. I want Sky Daddy Scott t-shirts. And at 6, Arctic Ballora. Arctic Ballora is Ballora's first and currently only skin and was released on December 10th, 2020 as a part of the Winter Wonderland event, a week before Frostbite Balloon Boy. Arctic Ballora is physically identical, at least the base animatronic is, to her original counterpart, unlike how Frostbite Balloon Boy was slimmed down. Ballora is slim thick. But there are a few new additions in the form of ice spikes coming out of her torso and head, almost looking like the Ice Queen from Shark Boy and Lava Girl, but if she was an adult. Arctic Ballora is as expected made out of ice, with pink jewelry on her face and stomach, and her top changing colors to pink as well, while also being a slightly different shape than normal Ballora. Plus, every male fan that has a thing for Ballora can finally see what's underneath it, since she's made out of fairly transparent ice, from what I can see at least. However, she is a cold-hearted so I don't suggest sticking around for too long. And while it may sound fun to have your tongue stuck to her, with the tutu made of ice spikes, it's probably not the best idea.
Halfway through and at number 5, Big Bad Foxy. Big Bad Foxy is Foxy's third skin and the second skin for the delayed Scary Tales event. He was leaked early on when his assets were found in the game's files though. Big Bad Foxy appears to look identical to Foxy, however is now slightly darker in color and covered in dark gray hair. His hair tufts have extended length and the left eye is now a large gaping hole shaped to look angry, while his right eye is now black with a red pupil. However, when used during encounters, he's instead replaced by my grandma, who wears a torn blue nightgown, a light blue nightcap, and large gold rimmed glasses, which is weird because her glasses aren't normally that big. And that nightgown must have gone through the ringer. Like, Grandma, are you okay? That thing is tattered more than the old blanket you keep in the basement where you used to hide all the Christmas presents. What? Come closer. Are you sure, Grandma? Like, I mean, like, we're both vaccinated, but like, COVID's still a thing. Like, I don't want to put you at risk. What do you mean it's not a problem? Of course it is. And in 4, Swamp Balloon Boy. Frostbite Balloon Boy was scary. The little no-no-snow dealer was making sure all the bitty baps got their fix, but for some reason, Swamp Balloon Boy irks me more than his frozen counterpart. Swamp Balloon Boy was Balloon Boy's first skin, released on November 26, 2020, and the third member of the Haunted Forest lineup. Sounds like something Great Wolf Lodge would do, honestly. It's like one of their wings. The Haunted Forest wing. Anyway, Swamp Balloon Boy is identical to normal Balloon Boy, but is made entirely out of mud. Like the dude showed up for the opening of Shrek, which turns 20 this year by the way, like yesterday I'm pretty sure, as this video is going out, if it's going out on time, and today as I'm recording it. But throughout his body we can see many roots, vines, leaves, and moss sticking out and growing out of him. His mouth is small and has a crack attached to each corner of the mouth that goes all the way around his head. And his eyes are empty, but more soul-sucking than the previous version we discussed. His sign literally looks like he pulled it from Shrek's swamp, and it says rot instead of balloons. Why is this so creepy though? Like, this, I don't mess around with swamps, and this is why. I feel like this is going to come out. I will deal with Swamp Thing, I will deal with Shrek, I ain't dealing with freaking Mud Balloon Boy. Getting close to the end, in number 3, Sunken Toy Bonnie. Sunken Toy Bonnie is Toy Bonnie's third skin. Sunken Toy Bonnie looks basically identical to Toy Bonnie, but made entirely out of brown and green barnacle covered woods. His stomach is colored with dull pinks, blues, and purples, and he appears to be made of a more glossy shell-like substance or
texture. His bow tie is now made up of 2 purple scallops, and his cheeks have large lime-colored clams covering them. His ear has a large chip in it, and his tail has large vein-like strains of stone covering it. And I don't like it, okay? It feels weird. I don't like veiny things. Finally, his eyes are a multicolored watery texture that looks somewhat like opal or like a very blurry coral reef, okay? I don't know what I'm trying to relate it to in the ocean other than a clam. Basically, a Bonnie animatronic, if they were a Scooby-Doo beach villain like the ghost of Captain Cutler, that's this guy. You're welcome.